Hmm. Oh, yes, I am back. I am here as always, the most faithful of the traitors. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I am currently just drinking water because hydration is important. But if I was drinking anything else, I'd be drinking out of my cup mug. Uh-huh. Panel full of cup mugs, panel full of cup mugs, beer, panel full of cup mugs. But you can get your cup mugs and be a part of the family too and get your party on with your cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. And you could, we do ship internationally and domestically here in the US. So they are now excuses in US. I'm looking right at you. No excuses. Get your cup merch. Period.
A new traitor has been recruited. Ooh. I made it back. I fought off Peter's army, Lana. I made it back.
Welcome back. We had to recruit you for a second time.
Thank you.
You
I'm
turned us
happy to
down
be here.
before, but we said
Yeah,
not this time.
I did. But hello. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. And I am just drinking water because hydration is important and my joints hurt today. So I'm drinking water. But we're here. I'm going to move myself into the hosting position because that's what Lana wanted me to do today. And we're here. We're talking about the Traitors.
Yay.
I'm very happy to be back talking about Traitors US because I have really been enjoying this season. And this episode sure was something.
It was something.
It sure was something. A whole lot of something.
I'm going to say it. Not my favorite episode of the season,
I will agree with you wholeheartedly on that statement.
but it was something.
Yeah. And we'll talk all about it. But before we do, make sure to subscribe over here at the Cup TV because we are here almost all the time giving you almost all things reality TV. We got a lot of reality TV content on the way very, very soon. We've got Survivor 46. We are currently covering Australian Survivor, so make sure to check that out. Wrestling recaps galore. Lots of wrestling things happening right now. I wouldn't know, but I am excited for what I've heard.
The road
The
to
Rock.
WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania is
The Rock.
it's fire.
The Rock. That's all I care about, quite frankly, is Dwayne. So, hi, yes, I'm here for it. And we have two other channels as well with Almost All Things Drag and Almost All Things Eurovision Song Contest. So you could go check those out over there as well. And if you would like to become a member of the Cup and join the Tea Room, you can go hit the join button available on our main channel or on Patreon. Same content, different platform. So make sure to go check that out. All those links will be down in the description below of this video or audio podcast, whichever you are listening to us. And we greatly appreciate it either way. So, episode 7 of Traitors US season 2. Yeah, I agree with you, Lana. Really not the most dynamic episode because no one goes home at all.
Well, at all.
But no one goes home. But
at all.
We are left on a cliffhanger from last week where Parvati and Phaedra decided that they were going to attempt to recruit after losing Dan, which I will say, since I wasn't here to talk about Dan's exit, Dan was set up from day one. We all knew Dan. As soon as he was named a traitor, we knew he wasn't going to last all that long. I'm surprised he lasted 6 episodes, if I'm being honest with you. But hey, we got Dan Giesling back on our TVs in 2024, and for that, I am grateful. But now that Dan's gone, they decided that they were going to recruit Peter. Parvati, what the fuck are you thinking? I watched that episode and saw Parvati go, I think we should do Peter. And Phaedra just like, yeah, girl, sure. Go ahead, girl. I love the way Phaedra's playing. Spoiler, loving Phaedra. Loving Phaedra. Shocker. The way she just keeps letting Parvati dig a bigger hole for herself is so great. It's so fantastic. But we're left on the cliffhanger of will Peter accept or will Peter decline? And we find out that Peter has declined.
Yeah.
Because Alan comes back into the turret. Parvati and Phaedra think it's going to be Peter, and it's not. And Alan lets them know that Peter has declined. And Parvati's just like, ah, man. And Phaedra's like, girl, I knew it. Like, no. I would have recruited literally anybody else.
Anybody else.
And you know, I don't love this person, but you know who I do think would have been a great recruitment for them in this moment? I think they should have recruited Trishelle.
Yep.
Because A, Trishelle would do it.
Absolutely.
B, that's now motivation for Trishelle to maybe kind of work with them a little bit more, or motivation for Parvati and Phaedra to just get Trishelle out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like,
it did not need to be Peter because he's very self-righteous right now. He's very
is he?
His reasoning for not joining the Traitors was because he wants to win this game the right way.
We should all aspire to have the confidence of a straight white man.
You weren't doing things the right way when you cheated on all of your damn partners on The Bachelor. So what about it, bitch? Now all of a sudden, why are you being self-righteous? Now all of a sudden, why are you trying to be the good guy doing the right thing when that's never what you've done?
Outsider stuff was closed. The game is called Traitors.
Exactly.
So what's the right way to... it was in this moment, I was like, and here's why I will never like Peter. I mean, I gave him his flowers last week because I thought that was a smart move, what he did about the shield. I was like,
it was
props to you.
One of the most strategic moves I've seen successfully done on a Traitor season in a minute. Like, I was really impressed with his strategy. I just think he's a shit character.
I was like, that was wonderful. You made a great strategic move, only to turn around and make me go, and there it is. There's why I don't like you. This is why.
There's why I won't root for you.
I can't root for you. I can't, because you are acting like people who may be the potential traitors or possibly a traitor are beneath you. Like, I could never do that traitorous thing in a game called Traitors. Like, what? Boy.
Do you know what show you signed up for? Genuinely.
Absolutely.
What do you do successfully? Quickly.
Not much. He's a pilot.
Okay. Anyway. So obviously Phaedra and Parvati are a little disappointed. Parvati more so than Phaedra.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Parvati's like, we're kind of screwed. And Phaedra's like, yeah, it'll probably be your last meal.
Oh, she's like, yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. I love how Phaedra is playing this too, as if she's playing to Parvati as if they're both screwed in this situation, when Phaedra also has the realization that, like, she's not screwed in this situation. She's not screwed at all. But we go into breakfast. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh wait, no, because we need to talk about Phaedra telling Parvati, you need to be more lovable.
Oh my God, you need to You need to stop doing this ice
queen.
queen thing. I was like, oh.
And Parvati was like, what do you mean, ice queen? She said, you're kind of like a mean girl. You walk around, you just.
And I mean, she's
not wrong.
No.
She's like, Parvati's like, but I walk in the room and people stop talking. She said, yeah, because they suspect you right now. And you kind of coming off like, you do this squinty thing. That's kind of, I was like, yeah, you do.
You got to start slowly trying to kill him with kindness. You can't do a major shift.
No, because then that'd just be weird.
Then they'll be like, oh, she's shifting her attitude because she knows people are coming after her. She's obviously a traitor. So don't do that. Instead, make sure that you're
you stop.
Make sure you're good with people.
I can't even do the poverty squint. Like,
hold on,
my eyes are too small.
Am I doing it?
Something. Yeah.
It's always a tilt of a head, just like a. Yeah. So. Yeah. Then we go to breakfast. Obviously, everybody's coming to breakfast because nobody got murdered. And everyone's a little surprised that everybody shows up at breakfast.
And Kate's like, oh, a recruitment happened. And everybody's like, oh yeah, a recruitment happened.
Oh, recruitment. Ooh, recruitment.
And so Parvati's like, so who got the letter?
Because she's thinking that Peter's going to say something openly.
And
I was thinking that Peter was going to say something openly.
Right.
No. He keeps that info to himself for the time being.
And he leans over to John and says,
I'm like, okay, cool, party. Like, all right. Sure. Yeah, and then Parvati having the gall to go, so who got recruited?
Was it you, Peter? And Peter was like,
Peter.
No.
I was like, okay, call him by name, I guess.
And Peter's like, no. He said, but I will say, Parvati, I don't think you're a traitor because I'm still alive. And she's like, oh, that's a shift. What do you mean? He's like, I don't think you're a traitor. Oh, you don't think I'm a traitor now? Interesting.
Now you don't think I'm a traitor. Okay. What happened to all that before when you thought I was a traitor?
Right.
Okay. And I think Parvati was doomed until that comment, honestly.
Yep.
And I think I first was like, Parvati, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you actively calling him out? And that he kind of fell into her trap a little bit there and gave her enough ammo to kind of make a semi-decent kind of argument. Which I was happy to see because I like Parvati and I don't like Peter. So we find out Alan comes in looking
dapper.
So good.
Dapper.
And before they go to the mission, we get Peter's party. Peter's little army. They're all having a private meeting. To which Phaedra comes in, tries to come in, and Peter's like, no, can you give us a minute? So Phaedra left, went into another room to explain what was happening, and then MJ decides she's gonna try to come in what has been, I think, the most memeable moment of this season, where MJ's just standing there. She's like,
I mean, I don't want to be left out. I mean, I want to know. I want to know what's happening. And they're like, no, we're going to tell you. You'll like the play. It's play. And people are like, shh. It's like, yeah. Just give us a minute. Okay.
Okay.
And she just tiptoes out the room. I was like,
literally,
child, this meme is everywhere.
It's already all. I saw so many people that I follow being like, I'm not even watching this season, but I kind of want to now just to understand what is happening here.
It's everything about it. It's the way she's standing. It's the pants she's wearing. It's the look on her face. Everything about that moment was memorable.
Yeah. I was like, all right, girl, whatever. But so the plan, so what Peter's telling his party is that he tells them that he was recruited, that he turned it down,
And of
that
course
they need
they
to
believe everything he said.
Oh, they believe it is like gospel to them, I guess. And he tells them that they need to get out Parvati. And everyone's really on board with this plan immediately, except for Trishelle, who then counters with, but what if we were to get, I really think that Phaedra is acting kind of suspicious. And as much as I don't like this group, fundamentally, I don't like this group whatsoever. But unfortunately, their reads are pretty spot on. And that's what makes this really unfortunate. Because I don't want to root for this group at all. But their reads are spot on. Like, damn it. No, I don't want that to be the case. I don't want them to be the successful ones.
That's another reason why I'm just more frustrated with Dan than I was before.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
But
you could have set this up. Had you said anything to anyone about anything, we wouldn't be in this scenario, Dan.
Ugh, just bothers me. But anyway, it was that was going on, and meanwhile, in the billiard room, where the other groups, the leftovers were hanging out. Miss Sandra Diaz-Schwein, Queen of Survivor, has decided to break this thing down. She's like, everybody come to the table. Let's break this thing down. And she pulled out the balls and she started saying, this is us. This is them. It's 5 of them. It's 7 of us. We need to get them out. And because as long as we get them out, even if she was like, somebody amongst that group got to be a traitor. We just need to get them out. She said, but it's a numbers thing, and we got to keep up with the numbers. And if we don't keep up with the numbers and we let them gain control, we're all done. And everybody, and Kate was like, "Oh, I like this. This is what I like.
This is my favorite moment on both seasons." I will say, I'm really disappointed that Kate really hasn't brought us anything this season.
No, I think
she hasn't. She's a nice number for the side of the people I like,
right?
But
her coming back as the faithful is just a disservice, I think.
Yeah,
because they're not using her well.
No, not in the slightest. I'm happy that Sandra finally decided to actually, get into the game a little bit. Decided to she was like, this is the time where I really need to bring up the strategic prowess and actually show off what needs to happen, because I can see what needs to happen, and I need to make sure that everybody else around me knows what needs to happen. So I'm like, okay, thankfully Sandra's gonna get that group all wrapped up, and I think we'll be good moving forward.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So the Sandra's plan is we just got to get rid of Peter.
Yeah.
Peter's the head ringleader. We got to get rid of Peter. And so they're like, okay.
And to an extent, yes. But also, he's not a traitor. So,
right.
Also, he's not a traitor. So she's half right in thinking that, Peter needs to go because he's the ringleader of that side. But she thinks he's a traitor, and she's wrong.
Right. But see,
So,
here's the thing. Even as playing as the faithful, you got to get rid of the traitors. I mean, the faithful sometimes you want to keep the
yeah,
money too. So you don't
exactly.
want to split between 7 people. That's not a lot of money split
Exactly.
between 7 people. So I'm ready to get rid of some faithfuls as well as the traitors. And so I think with Sandra, how she's playing is like, even if he is a faithful, he can still go. One
Yeah.
less person I got to worry about. But
He's
right
causing,
now, he's causing chaos.
and he's not on my side.
Exactly. And if
So,
you're not with me, you're against
you're
me.
against me.
So I need you to go.
Come
That's
on.
just
Come on, Miss Diaz Twine.
period.
Yes. So then we go
To the
from that
mission.
to the mission. And it's the supersized version of the forest task that we just saw
Yep.
on Traitors UK.
Yep.
So this time with 6 pairs as opposed to 4. So you have to go through the woods in pairs with a bag of money. And in this case, the team that makes it through the fastest gets a shield or shields.
We can both get shields. Mm-hmm.
Or if only one person made it through, then it's
get a
shield.
shield. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's $25,000 available for the prize pot in this challenge. I was like, this is a big challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up with the biggest amount of money goes to Trishelle and Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Who knows?
Because Trishelle, as Trishelle says, because we're the better team. And of course everybody wants us to have the money because we're the better team. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Parvati and John had 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
Sheree and Bergie had 5,000. Kate and MJ had 2,500. Sandra and Kevin had 1,000, and then CT and Phaedra had 500.
Can we talk about the CT and Phaedra of it all?
Please, because they're my favorites.
I'm like, I don't care if they are not in the real show, man. I enjoy watching them.
I adore them.
It
Two
was
people
so,
that I've loved on reality TV for a long time coming together. I'm like, this is so lovely.
It was so instant. Like Alan said, you pick your partner, and Phaedra said, and CT was like, and CT said, how you doing?
How you doing? CT has been such a gorgeous gift to this season. I will say, like, I love him on this.
I love CT. Like, if I was Phaedra, I'd be like, yes, CT daddy, period. Like, CT is somebody I'd be very crushing on in the castle. I was like,
yeah.
It's just something about CT. He's just so good looking to me.
I have had a crush on CT since I started watching the challenge.
Yep.
Since I started watching the challenge.
Him with Diem.
Oh, rest in power, my love.
Rest in power, Diem. Oh, but Jesus, I think they were my very first like OTP on television, and I was just like,
I think me too. Actually,
I love them so much. And I was like, and it wasn't like a fictional character OTP. These are real people who really fell in love and really got married, and I was just like, I love them. And he loved him some Diem, and I love me some Diem, and I love me some CT for the way he loved Diem. I was just, I just love them.
And like anytime CT's on a challenge season now, I'm like, I don't care that he has 40,000 challenge wins. I want him to win again.
I want him to win again. I'm always rooting for CT. He is one of the, if the faithful win, he needs to be a part of the faithfuls to win it. I just need CT to win.
Or honestly, I would love to see him as a last-minute recruitment and see him and Phaedra win together. That would be, if Parvati goes down, I would love to see a last-minute recruitment. I think Phaedra would absolutely recruit CT. It would be CT or Sheree. Those are the two that I think at this point.
But if she wants to do strategic wise, she might have to pick up like a Trishelle. Or just to get the scent off of her.
Yeah.
Because if she picks somebody like a CT, like, oh, who's the closest to CT? Or Sheree.
Sure, yeah.
But we'll see.
But I want them to win together.
Me
Lana.
too. I know, me too. I just love CT. Asian. But it was so cute. She looked up at him. He was like, "How you doing?" I was
How
like,
you
"You."
doing?
Oh,
I love him.
love it.
I
Okay.
love him. So yes,
Oh,
we go through the task, and obviously Trishelle and Peter are the best duo, and of
that's the best
course
team.
they're the absolute best team, and of
Absolutely.
course they're both going to make it through 100% perfect, without a shadow of a doubt. Peter drops in the fucking mud first challenge.
First question out the gate.
First question out the gate. And you want to know what I have to say to that?
Deserve! Deserve!
And also,
We should all aspire to have the confidence of a straight white man.
and woman in this case.
Oh yeah, because baby, I've been using that a lot. I had to use that a lot too because I said sometimes it's the confidence of a straight white woman that
Yes.
makes me go the audacity. But okay,
Like, Tolu, can we get a remix with white woman in there, please? Yes.
period.
Thank you, my love. Thank you.
Mhm.
But yeah, Peter falls immediately, and then also Bergie falls immediately. That was kind of sad. I'm
Sure.
like, I still kind of like Bergie a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of like for Bergie, and there's a little bit of like for John on that side.
Yeah.
Kevin, I've been ambivalent towards since the beginning. I'm like, whatever, Kevin could go.
Yeah, we can go.
But there's a little bit for Bergie, and there's a little bit for John. I'm like, oh.
Yes.
And
I
this
still like
challenge specifically, I was like, I love the pairing of John and Parvati.
Yes.
I was like, oh, they're gonna go out early. No, they slayed the damn challenge.
They slayed.
They slayed the damn challenge. As soon as Bergie was out, I was like, oh, Sheree ain't long for this challenge.
Mm-mm.
I'm still asking 7 episodes in, where's Sheree? Where's Sheree? We got a scotch of her at the end of this episode, and we'll talk about it. But I'm like, she's really giving, she's gonna make it to the finals and be the first person cut in the final. That's really what it's giving me at this point for Sheree, which is unfortunate because I really like Sheree. But she's just not giving me anything on this season, unfortunately. So, but we go through the challenge. Most of the other teams drop out, ultimately. On the second question, Phaedra got it wrong. Or Phaedra got it wrong, but CT picked up the scroll.
Yeah.
And then MJ and Sheree also got it wrong. And then on the third question, Trishelle, Kate, and Phaedra all got it wrong. Meaning that the only pairs left were Parvati and John and Kevin and Sandra.
Yep.
And at this point, it was a battle of which pair could move faster than the other pair. And I was like, oh, please let it be Sandra. Please let Sandra get a challenge win. I was like, please let her get a challenge win. And they both teams finish the course. So they get $8,000 towards the prize pot per. And the team that did it in the fastest time was Sandra and Kevin. Yay, Sandra! I wish it was an individual win for Sandra.
Yes.
She wouldn't have made it to the end if it wasn't for Kevin. So, Sandra winning! Yay, Sandra won a challenge. I'm very happy for Sandra.
Same.
So we go back to the castle. We see Phaedra, Kate, and Parvati all talking. They're voting for Peter. And then seemingly CT has discovered this secret room. I was like, I'm not familiar with this room. I was like, what is this room?
But this room was holding a lot of knights in shining armor and some other
when
things.
when they get back to the thing and CT goes in there and gets the shield and is like, I got a shield. I don't know if it works, but I got a shield.
And
I love me some CT. Love CT.
But we also get CT wearing about the the voting situation that could be possibly
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
And so he's like, let me see. So he talks to Peter, and him and Peter are talking, and he was like, your name on the chopping block, dude. Peter's like, what, me? What do you
Me?
mean? What do you mean? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, shoot. That's the first time I'm hearing this. Why would nobody tell me that my name is on the chopping block? I mean, wouldn't you tell the person that your name is on the chopping block, that their name is on the chopping block? I mean,
We should
why
all
wouldn't it
aspire
be?
to have the confidence of a straight white man.
Because
Mhm.
apparently you're supposed to tell him that you're thinking about voting for him.
Apparently.
That's how he's supposed to know this. But then
Apparently
he also,
that's how we play this game, apparently.
that's how we play the game. We tell the people that we're thinking
Apparently
about
the most
voting for him.
faithful of the faithful, they go ahead and say that. Mhm.
Right. So he's like, okay, let me go do some work. So he pulls Parvati and Phaedra into the armory to talk. And they talking, and he's like, I mean, I really want to work with you. And Parvati's like, what? Where'd this come from? And he's like, I mean, I just want to know if we could come up with something, strike a deal. And Phaedra's like, oh, nope.
No.
Nope. Absolutely not about to get up out of here. He's like, no. She's like, I don't like this. I don't like this secret hiding in rooms, convoluting stuff. I don't like this. So I'm gonna go. Y'all can talk. I'm gonna go. So Phaedra was like, I'm not gonna be a part of this because Peter like scheming and scamming people, telling a few people things, and then it comes back and bite them in the butt. She just saw what you did today, and she's like, that's not happening to me. She's like, I don't like secret rooms and stuff. And I was like, I see you, Phaedra.
And in this moment, I was like,
We should all aspire to have the confidence of a straight white man.
like, what? What do you think? What do you think you're trying to do? And even Parvati's like, no.
I mean, you thought I was a traitor. You think I'm a traitor? Why are you working with me or trying to work with me?
Exactly.
And he's like,
I don't get it.
She's like, yeah, I'm about to go. And then she's like,
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go now. No,
I'm gonna go. No. And they all think they're preparing for a round table. Oh no!
No.
Because Alan has called everyone and they're going to the woods for a deadly outing. And we find out that there's no round table.
None.
There's no banishment.
None.
And instead, it's a safety chain. Yay, safety chain. Safety chain. Yay. I hated this. I hated
everything about it.
I hated almost everything about this.
I hated everything about it.
There was one moment that made me tear up a little bit, but otherwise I hated this. So the group is then going to decide who to spare from murder until there are only 5 people left vulnerable. And because Kevin and Sandra won the shields, they get the first pick. And they are the only people that have to decide together who to save. And immediately Trichelle's like, I'm going to get murdered. And Peter's like, I'm also going to get murdered. And I was curious to see where the consensus would come from between Sandra and Kevin, because they're not on the same side at all.
Right.
So I was like, I really don't know. Like, this could go a myriad of ways. I don't know who they're going to end up deciding to save. And they end up deciding to save Sheree. And I think, honestly, that's a very middle of the road sort of choice.
It's very safe.
Very, very safe.
It's very, very safe.
So Sheree then gets to pick who she wants to save. And I had a good feeling she was going to save Phaedra.
Absolutely.
I was like, I think the only other person Sheree might have considered saving would have been MJ.
Mm.
But she saves Phaedra, and Phaedra gets really emotional about it.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But she's like, I've known Sheree for over 20 years. And we've had a rocky relationship throughout this 20 years. And I did not know or think, or I didn't know if she would actually feel the need to save me, because our relationship has not been very great. And we've had some moments where we did not trust each other. We did not like each other. So this is beyond the game. This is just an emotional moment of, wow, we actually reached another turning point in our relationship.
Yeah.
And we saw
And
this,
I was happy to see it.
yeah, we saw the same kind of moment in Celebrity Big Brother with Tamar and Candy. It was like, because when you do know people for so long and you have a history that's not maybe the best, and you get into this situation where now you have to depend on each other, kind of like in the back of your mind, is this going to be real? Are they really going to want to work with me? And they do.
It felt very Tamar and Candy for me, and I was very happy to see it. So
Absolutely.
So Phaedra then has the power, and to nobody's surprise except Parvati, she picks CT. And I was confused at why Parvati was so upset by it.
Me too.
I'm like, Parvati, if she comes, I'm like, if she comes out of nowhere and saves you, first of all, you don't need to be saved.
You're not dying.
You are one person now who is safe, despite the group not knowing that. Like, you don't need to be worried. But she got all of her stuff up in a bunch over Phaedra not saving her. And I'm like, that would have been very suspicious. I would have caught on immediately.
Absolutely.
They were both traitors. Phaedra made the obvious choice. Everyone knows that she's close to Sheree and CT. And Sheree saved her. So the only other person I think Phaedra could have gotten away with saving would have been John.
Or Bergie.
Or Burgalicious.
The Burgalicious of it all.
Like, I think those are the only other options that Phaedra could have gotten away with. But obviously she saves CT. And then it comes down to CT and whether he's going to save Trishelle, who is still vulnerable, or save John.
Right.
He's like, those are the two options he comes down to. And I like that because I do still kind of like John. And ultimately, CT decides to save John, choosing, I guess, the game over his friend. And Trishelle falls into a spiral. And I'm like, I don't know if I remember right. When has Trishelle ever done anything for CT on the challenge ever?
Never.
Literally never. So I'm like, yes, you've known him for 10 years, but you two have never worked together that closely. So I'm like, this emotion is coming out of absolute nowhere.
Right.
Okay.
It's so... She was so mad and butthurt. And I was like, this is the game, darling. You of all people should know that sometimes game moves and friend moves ain't the same thing. So shut up.
Yeah.
Like you said, when is the last time Trishelle has done anything for CT? In any game that they have played. You yourself come into the game and was like, me and CT's relationship is kind of rocky. We didn't end on good terms. So why would he just fall back in the trap of trusting you all of a sudden? Girl, bye.
Like, I don't get it, but
whatever.
We move. So John now has the last choice. John saves Peter.
I wish he would save Bergie. I was like,
I wish he would have saved anybody else.
save Bergie.
But
Just save Bergie.
But I get it.
Okay.
I get it. If I'm playing John's game, I save Peter. And I get it. And I understand it. I'm not thrilled about it. But I'm not fundamentally upset at John.
No, I'm not
choice.
upset at John at all. I'm not upset at John at all because the game that he is playing and what he is perceiving, that's the perfect move for him to make.
Because he still has what are his two closest allies in Kevin and Peter.
Exactly.
So
it is what it is at this point. Yep.
So it leaves Trishelle, Bergie, MJ, Kate, and Parvati. Not really, but Parvati as the 5 players vulnerable for the next murder.
MJ is also very upset.
MJ's upset that Sheree. She's upset with Sandra. She's upset with everybody. I'm like, baby girl, what have you done in this game? Remember when we thought she was going to come in here and she was going to body this game and she was going to be the main character? No.
Mm-mm.
She's getting probably less screen time than Sheree, and that's difficult. Kate has had more screen time in 3 episodes than MJ has in 7.
Yep.
And on the note of Kate, I'm so upset with Kate. Kate has really brought us, she's brought us some funny one-liners. Yeah. I think that's lovely. And I don't think Kate not giving us anything so far, I don't think any of that is Kate's fault. I really don't think it's Kate's fault. I think they brought Kate in too late. I think they should have brought her in either episode 1 and just be like, oh yeah, Kate's back.
Right.
Or they should have brought her in episode 2 at the latest. But bringing her in mid-game feels so weird unless you're going to make her a traitor.
Absolutely.
And if you make her a traitor, that's so easy because then it would have thrown another curveball to the traitors being like, oh, we have this new thing that we have to deal with. We didn't choose her. She's kind of just being gifted to us whether we want it or not.
Right.
And so I think that's a flaw on production. I think the entire handling of Kate in this season is a production error.
Yeah.
Because I think Kate being brought in at the start of the season, I think would have added a nice dynamic. I would have liked to see Kate go against Janelle a little bit because those personalities would have clashed. For sure. And I would have liked to see that. And I don't blame Kate for any of that because they brought her in when they wanted to. So I just, honestly, for Kate's sake, I hope she gets murdered. I'm going to be honest. I do hope among the 5 people here, I do hope it is her that gets murdered. I don't know that it will be.
Yeah.
I think the smartest move for Parvati specifically is to murder either Kate or MJ.
Absolutely.
Will she do that? I don't think so.
I think she might be like, we got to go for Peter's right hand, which is
if they get out Trishelle, will I be upset about it? Absolutely not. I will be thrilled. I will be screaming from the rooftops. Oh, I will be so happy. But I think that's maybe the worst possible move that Parvati can make at this point. For Phaedra, I don't think any of these moves really cause that much of a wave in what Phaedra's doing.
No, and it would be good to get Trishelle out for Phaedra's sake because Trishelle is the only one spouting Phaedra's name.
Exactly.
And Peter and Bergie and John and Kevin aren't really that keen or sold on Phaedra.
Because even when they were having their little private meeting, Trishelle brings up Phaedra, and they're all kind of like, okay, but Parvati. And in that moment, also, I'm like, okay, first, she may not be a woman I like, but she's the only woman in your group. Maybe listen to her opinion. It felt very dismissive of the men towards Trishelle. Again, I don't like Trishelle. But I still was, even that moment, I was like, oh, I don't like it. And it was more Peter and Kevin than Bergie and John in that moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best move for Phaedra's game would be Trishelle. And I think the best move for Parvati's game would probably be Kate
or MJ.
Over MJ, because at least MJ is still going to fight against the faithful of the faithfuls.
Right.
And Kate's just kind of there, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. Kate or Trishelle would be. I mean, Trishelle is the choice that I want to happen, but I guess Kate would be mine, and that upsets me because I like Kate as a person. I liked her on season 1, but she's just not providing here. So, but they come back to the castle. All of the people condemned to murder are pissed. They're pissed. And Trishelle decides, or Trishelle's mad, but Trishelle's not going to go to CT.
No. She wants.
I forget who it. I was like, I forget who it was that told CT, "Oh, Trishelle's mad at you."
I think it was either Sheree or MJ. Was like she wanted you to come to her,
and I'm like, this is so childish. Shocker, Trishelle being childish.
Shocker. Pretends to be shocked.
We should all aspire to have the confidence of a straight white man.
Woman.
And Trishelle is just like, I feel hurt because I care about you so much as a friend. And she thinks that she values him more than he values her. And I'm like,
she would have easily picked him if she got shaved. She would have easily picked him.
I'm like,
relevant to the conversation.
What the fuck are you talking about, Trishelle? Do I still think in that moment Trishelle would have saved CT? Yes, I do. But even still, like, you're playing a game. This is a game.
And if you really wanted to save your alliance, she would have saved Bergie or John. Like, why would you go for somebody who was not in your alliance, even though you're in? You know what I mean? If you're trying to protect the numbers that you have, you don't know if CT aligns with what you've been doing on the slide. So, but I don't know. I was very much annoyed with her pettiness, with her petulant attitude, childish behavior. That I don't want to. He needs to come talk to me, and this friendship, and I don't feel valued. It's like, girl, so exhausting. It's so exhausting.
And then at the end of the episode, we're in the turret. Parvati's upset. She's backed into a corner. She knows her name is coming up. This is where Phaedra told Parvati to stop acting like an ice princess.
Yes.
We talked about it at the start. I forgot that didn't happen until the end.
It doesn't matter. It happened.
It did. They kind of go through everybody. They're like, no one's going to banish Kate. MJ won't come up for banishment. Trishelle and Bergie are part of Peter's clique, but they don't want to add more suspicion to Parvati's name. I don't know. I think it's going to end up being Trishelle.
I think it might be Kate.
I hope it's, for Parvati's game, I hope it's Kate. Overall, I hope it's Trishelle.
Mm-hmm.
So, send a white woman home. That's what I'd like to see in this scenario, I guess. But that's that.
Yeah, we would say it's time for a draft update, but nobody went home, so there's no draft.
So the draft is the same, and I'm still losing.
Yeah.
Yay, losing. I love losing. I have my number 1 draft pick left, and she's done nothing for the season. So, but that's that. Thank you for joining us for a real quick little update on our thoughts on Traitors. Let us know in the comments, who are you rooting for? Are you team Faithful of the Faithfuls, or are you team all of the other good people that are actually bringing decent TV and are good people?
Or team Leftover for short.
Leftovers for short, yes. Let us know all your thoughts in the comments below. We want to thank you for joining us for this episode. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. We see y'all watching.
Mm-hmm.
We see you, and we appreciate you watching, but that subscribe button is right down there. It's free. It's half a second. And then you get to know every time we post content, and we really appreciate it over here. We got a lot of reality TV content coming on the way for you all, so we do greatly, greatly appreciate it. We've got 2 other channels as well, with Almost All Things Drag and Almost All Things Eurovision Song Contest, so make sure to go check those out as well. Subscribe over there. We appreciate it. We're trying to make some good content for y'all, and all of the subscribing and the liking and the getting our videos into the algorithm does really actually mean something, so we do appreciate you for that. If you would like to become a member of the Cup channel and join Tea Room, the membership is available over on our main channel and over on Patreon. Same content, different platform. So make sure to go check that out. All those links will be down in the description. Also down in the description is the link to our social media at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And the link to follow both Lana and I on Twitter, because we're fun, we're cute. I only really rage tweet about Eurovision at this point. So if that's something you're into, great. Thanks. And you could go get your merch down below as well, including but not limited to cup mug. Panel for cup mug, panel for cup mug. I'm doing it like it's a murdering. I don't know what's happening anymore. And with that being said, I'm gonna put my traitor hood back on. So
Yeah.
Goodbye. We got to get out of the turret. It's dark and cold and rainy, and I don't like it anymore.
I don't like it anymore.
So,
bye, y'all.
Cheers.
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 Bye.
Bye-bye.
Alan is fabulous. That's all.